She ghosted me after I said, let's split dinner. Then I discovered I was her backup wallet. Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm 26, work in IT support. And I used to think being generous made me a good boyfriend. Then my girlfriend publicly called me broke because I wouldn't blow $1,000 on a single dinner, and I realized I'd accidentally been funding someone else's lifestyle for 8 months while she was secretly planning to replace me. It started off like a rom-com. I met Madison on a dating app. She had that cool girl vibe, funny, always dressed like she just walked off an Instagram shoot. Said she worked as a social media consultant, helping brands elevate their online presence. I didn't totally know what that meant, but hey, entrepreneur life, right? Our first date was great. She reached for her purse. I said I got it. She smiled, called me the sweetest. And that little routine became a thing. Every single time. Coffee? I got it. Dinner? I got it. Movie? Concert? Weekend trip to Seattle? Always me. I didn't mind at first. I was raised to pay. My parents modeled that provider energy, and I had a solid IT job pulling in $72,000 a year. Comfortable, not rich, but enough. I assumed Madison was contributing in her own way, emotionally, creatively, maybe just by being fun to be around. Until last Tuesday, she texts me midday like, babe, that new celebrity chef place open. We have to go. It's on my dream list. I checked the menu. Appetizers? $60. Entrees? $150. Tasting menu she wanted? $500 per person. Drinks not included. I texted back, babe, that's a bit out of my budget right now. Maybe we can do somewhere else nice? She hit me with, wow, I didn't realize you were struggling financially, oh. Then she ghosted me for 3 hours. I thought, okay, maybe she's just embarrassed. We'll talk. This is our first real fight. But then I opened Instagram, and there it was. Her story, why do broke men even try dating? Like, sir, if you can't afford to treat a woman properly, just stay home and level up first. No tag, no name, but everyone knew. Her friends started chiming in. Period. Know your worth, queen. McDonald's budget with Nobu expectations. I sat at my desk just stunned. 8 months. Paying for everything. Never once complaining. And now this. I didn't text her. I didn't call. I opened my bank app. I started scrolling. Every dinner. Every trip. Got it. 8 months of receipts. Took me 2 hours. Then I opened Venmo. Set it to public. Typed in her name. Request. $6,427 memo. 8 months of dates, dinners, movies, and trips. Since I'm too broke to date properly, here's your half of our relationship expenses. Thanks for clarifying my financial situation. Then I went back to work. It took 30 minutes. 30 minutes from when I hit send on that Venmo request to when Madison's best friend Kelsey called me screaming. I let it go to voicemail. Then came Brittany, Ashley, and finally Madison herself. 14 missed calls in a row. Still didn't answer. Then the text started. WTF is wrong with you? Take that down now. You're humiliating me. This is psycho. Over one dinner? Everyone can see this. Yeah, that was kind of the point. See, when you make a Venmo request public, people can comment. And oh boy, my coworker Dennis. This man kept receipts. Respect. My buddy James, bro was funding a whole relationship solo, some random stranger. Not the itemized relationship invoice. I'm screaming. But then her friends showed up with pitchforks. Ashley, this is financial abuse. You're weaponizing money. Brittany, small d energy. Real men don't count dollars. Madison herself tried to DM me some long paragraph. I ignored it. Then came her notes app screenshot story. Since someone wants to count pennies, here's the truth. I gave this man emotional labor for 8 months. Helped him pick outfits. Decorated his apartment. Elevated his life. Taught him about wine. But sure, let's talk about dinner money. Her fans ate it up. Exactly. Your presence is the prize. You upgraded him. So I posted one thing, a screenshot of her LinkedIn entrepreneur, social media consultant. I attached her business site where she had exactly 3 clients listed in the past year. Caption, interesting definition of upgrading my existence. From someone who made $3K last year, but owns $10,000 in designer gear. Math isn't mathing. Still waiting on that Venmo. Madison showed up at my place that night. I saw her through my ring cam, standing there in the designer coat I bought her for her birthday, clutching the Michael Kors bag from our 6-month anniversary. She started knocking. Andrew, open the door. We need to talk, I answered through the speaker. You here to pay the Venmo? I was venting. I didn't mean it. Then why did you post it? Take the post down and we can talk. Pay the request and we can talk. She stood there for 10 minutes crying, yelling, whispering. My neighbor poked her head out, saw the scene, and said the greatest line I've ever heard. Honey, not letting someone into their house is an abuse. It's called boundaries. Eventually, Madison left, but she wasn't done. She was just getting started. By the next morning, it was war. Madison launched full-on damage control. She posted a story with sparkly text overlays. Just because someone kept a log of every penny spent doesn't mean I owe them anything. This is controlling. This is toxic. This is financial violence. I almost spit out my coffee. Then her inner circle mobilized. Her friend Ashley posted a reel about narcissistic men who weaponize generosity. Brittany commented, "Men like him are why we all have trust issues." They even started a hashtag. Hashtag financial abusis real. But here's the thing, receipts don't lie. And people started pulling theirs. My friend James dug up an old post Madison made where she literally bragged, "Never pay for anything, ladies." That's how you know he's serious. With a selfie of her toasting champagne on a rooftop that I paid for. Dennis, my coworker, found her TikTok. Title, How to Get Him to Pay for Everything Without Asking. Her tips, always forget your wallet. Mention what you want, then wait. If he doesn't offer, he's not the one. It got worse. Her roommate Taylor messaged me out of nowhere. Hey, I know this is random, but Madison hasn't paid rent in 2 months. She owes me and our other roommate over $3,000. She kept saying her business was about to blow up, but now I see where her money was really coming from. I'm sorry this happened to you. Wait, she hadn't paid rent? But she had a new $2,000 bag last month? Taylor continued, she's been using your money to flex for Instagram while stiffing everyone else. Just thought you should know. Asked if she'd go on record. Taylor, absolute. Meanwhile, Madison tried a new PR move. Podcast guest appearance. Yes, her friend had a podcast with like 12 listeners and gave her a platform. He's controlling. He kept track of everything. He never had to pay. I didn't ask. He's retaliating because I set a boundary. They called me financially abusive for requesting half, but someone clipped the episode, posted it to Reddit. It exploded. Top comment. She posted about him being broke publicly, but now he's the abuser for asking for shared expenses? The math is still not mathing. And then she tried the nuclear option. She contacted my job. I got pulled into HR on Wednesday morning. My heart was pounding. I thought I was done for, but Patricia, the HR manager, just chuckled. So we received a complaint that you're engaging in harassment and abuse through a Venmo request? She winked. Don't worry, I read everything. You're fine, but maybe keep your receipts off work hours. Yeah? I nodded. Fair. But Madison wasn't finished. Next, I got an email from a Gmail address. A cease and desist letter demanding I take down the Venmo post and pay $5,000 for emotional distress and defamation. Only problem? It wasn't even on legal letterhead. I sent it to my cousin, an actual lawyer. His response? This is her friend pretending to be a lawyer. Tell her to sit down. So I posted a screenshot. Caption. Now, getting fake legal threats via Gmail. Entitlement is truly undefeated. Still waiting on that Venmo. The fake lawyer email mysteriously vanished an hour after I posted it. But Madison's meltdown wasn't over. She just shifted into reputation triage mode. Problem was, she was leaking credibility faster than a TikTok skincare guru caught photoshopping. Because then, Marcus messaged me. Yep, her ex. Bro, and watching this whole thing go down, and just respect. You're doing what I should have done 2 years ago. Mind grabbing a beer? I didn't know what to expect. I figured maybe venting, maybe a few horror stories. But Marcus came with receipts. Literal printed receipts. Turns out, I wasn't Madison's first ATM. I was just the most organized one. Marcus funded her lifestyle for a year and a half. Rent, groceries, Uber rides, a trip to Cabo. Same story. She made him feel special for treating her until he finally said no to something. A $5,000 girls trip to Ibiza. And just like that, boom, she ghosted. Then posted that he was an emotionally stingy narcissist. She told people I manipulated her because I wouldn't pay for her passport renewal, Marcus said, shaking his head. Next thing I know, I'm blocked, smeared, and her Instagram's full of inspirational quotes about self-love and cutting off toxic men. Then he pulled out the real bombshell. Screenshots of a group chat. Securing the bag. 12 women. Dozens of messages. Tips on financially exploiting men. Madison, just a week before calling me broke. He's starting to push back on expensive dinners. Time to find the next one. This one's only good for $800 a month now. One of her friends replied. Girl, maintain the stream till you've lined up the next sponsor. Don't leave money on the table. Madison again. True. I'll keep him around one more month. Then bounce. I stared at Marcus like he just handed me the nuclear football. Can I share some of these? Please do, he said. I should have spoken up a long time ago. That night, I made one final post. Just 3 screenshots from the chat. Names blurred except hers. Caption. Turns out I wasn't broke. I was just the current ATM. Glad my financial services are no longer required. Any guy funding someone's lifestyle while being called cheap. You deserve better. The internet lit up. Madison's own friends started turning on her. Taylor, the roommate. So this explains the unpaid rent and new designer bags. We're done. Kelsey, her ride or die. I defended you. I paid your drinks last week because you said you were waiting on client payments. I'm sick. The entire securing the bag chat got leaked on Twitter. It went full viral. By Friday. 3 of the women in the group had been fired their employers, so posts about using corporate events to hunt high-income men. Madison tried one last Hail Mary, a tearful video, blaming me, blaming Marcus, calling us incel revenge nerds. These men are collaborating to destroy women. They made everything up. The screenshots are fake. The messages are fake. I'm being harassed, but no one bought it. The timestamps, the writing style, the matching profile pic s.it was all real, and everyone knew it. Her Instagram went from 8,000 followers to 2,000 in 3 days. She locked her account. Her so-called business, Ghost Town, and the Venmo request, still pending. Now with 2,000 plus likes and over 100 comments. A modern monument, not to pettiness. To accountability. By the end of that week, Madison had gone full digital ghost. Instagram, private. TikTok, deleted. LinkedIn, suddenly said she was on sabbatical to realign with her vision, which I guess is code for not exposed and can't show my face without getting quote tweeted. Meanwhile, my Venmo request had become a meme. Someone screen recorded it with dramatic violin music and posted it on TikTok as POV. When she calls you broke, so you hit her with the itemized invoice. It got 500,000 views. Comments poured in. Bro dropped the dating bill like a final boss. Imagine funding her entire aesthetic and still getting roasted for not buying a $500 steak. Emotional labor? Sis, he was laboring financially while she was laboring emotionally to deflect. We need more guys like this. Petty with receipts. Even other guys started tagging their own unpaid relationship invoices. It became a trend. But just as the dust was starting to settle, Madison unblocked me. I was mid-lunch, halfway through a burrito, when her name popped up on my phone. The message? I hope you're happy. You ruined my life over a few dinners. I loved you, and you humiliated me publicly. You and Marcus are pathetic losers who can't handle a strong woman. Enjoy your boring, cheap life. I stared at the screen, then typed back one line. I am happy. Enjoy your parents' basement. Peace. The Venmo request is still active. Blocked again. Classic. But what hit me wasn't anger, it was clarity. Madison hadn't just tried to publicly humiliate me, she believed she could. That no one would question her story. That she'd built a world where accountability equals abuse, and where any financial boundary meant a man wasn't man enough. And she almost pulled it off. If I hadn't had receipts, she probably would've. left me branded as controlling and cheap while walking off in heels I'd paid for, using rent money didn't know I was covering. Instead, she exposed herself. And honestly, I felt free. That $800 a month I'd been spending to keep up with her designer brunch lifestyle, now it was going into savings. I finally bought myself the gaming PC I'd been putting off. Built it with my buddy James over the weekend. It was cathartic, like rebuilding my self-worth in RGB lighting. But something cooler happened too. Guys started messaging me. Dude, same thing happened to me. Thank you for posting that Venmo. I thought I was just cheap. My ex literally called me broke while I was paying her car note. We made a group chat, called it Recovering ATMs. 12 guys and counting, all sharing stories, red flags, healing through memes. And yeah, we laugh a lot. But also, we remind each other generosity is beautiful, but it should never be taken for granted. Your wallet doesn't determine your worth. If someone calls you broke while wearing clothes you paid for, run. A few weeks later, I went on my first date since everything. Met a girl named Eliza at a bookstore cafe. We vibed over coffee, talked about fantasy novels, swapped favorite podcasts. When the check came, she smiled and said, "Let's split it, y'all." I almost proposed right there. I didn't, but we've had 4 dates since. No red flags. No designer bag talk. She suggested a picnic for the next one. Said fancy dinners are overrated. She has no idea how healing that sentence was. A month passed. Madison faded out of public view except for the occasional pity post her remaining followers pretended to care about. Last I heard, she was couch surfing between friends who hadn't read the group chat leaks. But me, I was thriving. Work felt lighter. My bank balance was climbing. I was sleeping better, eating better, laughing more. It's wild how much emotional weight you carry when someone's quietly draining your energy and your debit card every week. Eliza and I kept seeing each other. Nothing official yet, but the vibe was easy. No games. No tests. When she suggested a movie night at her place, she cooked dinner from scratch. I figured you probably need a break from playing sugar daddy, she joked, smiling. That moment hit different. Not because it was mean, but because she got it. No ego. No power play. Just honesty with the side of lasagna. But then something weird happened. Out of nowhere, I got a text from Kelsey Madison's former ride or die, Queen of the You're Broke chorus. "Hey Andrew, can we talk?" I stared at my phone for a full minute before replying. About what? She sent a long wall of text. Said she'd left the securing the bag group chat. Said she'd realized how toxic it had become. That Madison had used her too. Borrowed money she never paid back. Spread rumors about her when she tried to call her out. And then, I honestly believed what she said about you. But after the screenshots and hearing from Marcus, I just want to say I'm sorry. I joined in the bullying, and that wasn't okay. I didn't know what to say at first. I'd pictured her and Madison clinking glasses while they dragged me in group chats. But reading her message, it felt genuine. So I replied, "I appreciate the apology. Really took guts." Then Kelsey hit me with the twist. "There's something else you should know." She asked if I'd ever heard of a guy named Ben Whitaker. I hadn't. She sent me his profile. A finance bro. Manhattan. Sharp suits. Yacht selfies. Private account. He was supposed to be Madison's next bag. She'd already started laying the groundwork while still with you. Kelsey sent a screenshot, Madison bragging, "Ben's worth it. I'll drop Portland entirely if this lands. Andrew can keep being my placeholder for now." I sat there just stunned. Like, I knew she was calculating. I'd seen the group chat, heard the stories, but seeing it written like that, calling me a placeholder, still hit different. Like I'd been nothing more than a layover, a financial layover, until her real destination was ready. But here's the thing, she never landed that plane. Turns out Ben had seen the viral Venmo saga. His friend sent it to him, laughing. Madison didn't know that when she slid into his DMs, he left her on read, then unfollowed, then blocked. According to Kelsey, Madison cried for 2 days straight. And yeah, I should have felt smug, vindicated, triumphant. But honestly, I just felt done. Madison had always lived off borrowed energy, borrowed money, borrowed image. And when the truth came out, everything borrowed got repossessed, including me. After the Ben revelation, things went quiet. Madison stopped posting entirely. No more aesthetic coffee shots, No motivational quotes in gold font. No mysterious big projects tagged with vague hashtags. Just silence. I figured that was the end of it until my phone buzzed with a notification from Venmo. 6 for 27 received from Madison. Green memo. Here's your invoice. Hope it was worth it. I just stared at it. I actually had to sit down. 8 months of being used, manipulated, called broke, and mocked online, and now the exact amount I requested, down to the last dollar, had landed in my account. My hands were shaking, not from rage this time, from the overwhelming wave of closure. I didn't respond, didn't message her, didn't post about it. I just took a screenshot, saved it in a folder I'd named months earlier. Proof I'm not crazy. I closed the app, breathed deep, and used $300 of that refund to take Eliza out to a cozy mountain cabin for the weekend. Her idea, by the way. She found the deal, packed snacks, even insisted on paying for gas. One night, sitting on the deck under a sky so clear you could see forever, she turned to me and said, "You know, I read all of it. The Venmo thing, the podcast clips, the TikTok. I did my research before date 3. I laughed. And you still came back?" "I came back because of it. You didn't just take the hit, you set a boundary and stuck to it. That's rare." She rested her head on my shoulder. "I've been the girl who let someone walk all over me. Watching you stand up for yourself? Kind of hot, honestly." I didn't say anything for a second, just looked up at the stars and thought about how wild it is, how you can be vilified for setting boundaries in one relationship and respected for them in another. It's not about the money. It never was. It's about the lesson. And Madison? She finally learned hers too. 3 months later, got a message from Marcus. Just a link. No caption. It was a Reddit post. Title: Ida for paying back my ex after he publicly shamed me over money. Posted by Thrower Maddie 94. I read the whole thing. Every word was coded in just enough truth to sound plausible, and just enough distortion to make her the victim. She claimed I'd weaponized Venmo after she politely declined a pricey restaurant, that I rallied my friends to dox her, and that my Reddit army had ruined her career. Oh, and the best part? She said paying me back was an act of closure so she could move on from a toxic chapter. The comments weren't buying it. Top reply: "Girl, if this is the Venmo guy story, you lied about everything and then paid him back when you ran out of options. This ain't closure. This is damage control. It sounds like you used someone, got caught, and now you're trying to rewrite the ending." Spoiler alert, the internet never forgets. I didn't comment. Didn't need to. She was trying to rewrite history, but the receipts were still out there, archived, screen capped, and saved across a dozen platforms. That post eventually got locked by mods for inconsistencies and targeted narrative shaping, and just like that, it was over. No more messages. No more subtweets. No more fake empowerment posts designed to hide exploitation behind hashtags. Madison Green, social media strategist, was officially offline. For good this time. Back in the real world, things were simple. Eliza and I started officially dating. We kept things chill. Books, dogs, real food. No staged, date night selfies. Just two people building something based on mutual respect, not transactional expectation. One night, she leaned over and asked, "You ever think about sending Madison a thank you note?" I smirked. Why would I do that? Because without her, you might have never figured out what you really deserved. And she was right. Madison taught me the hard way that love without respect is just performance. That generosity without appreciation becomes resentment. And that setting boundaries even loudly and publicly isn't petty. It's survival. She tried to call me broke, but in the end, she couldn't afford me. The invoice was paid, the lesson was learned, and the chapter was closed.